turn on post approval. They turn on post approval.
And it'll be post approval. And then eventually what it'll basically do is just a place where famous people have their Twitter account.
Yeah.
People like you, they'd say, well, you just aren't, you're just not going to be
it'll be like YouTube, right? Where
it'll become like YouTube.
Yes.
Where they get rid of the little guy, Jablinski game.
Yeah. Because this idea that like Facebook definitely can't stand up to that deluge of content, the whole point, one of the big complaints is that Facebook and Google have secret algorithms that like scan all your posts and choose which order they're displayed. They actually can, compared to say Parler or Gab or other smaller social media, Facebook and Google are the most capable of just, taking the change. Like, being a publisher will hurt them, but it will hurt Gab and Parler more, which is why you threaten to only hurt them by taking away their 230 protection. You don't just take it away from everyone, because that's just asking to kill the hostage, which is, and notice,
because then a place like Gab or Parler lets all these crazy right-wing nut jobs post on it.
They'll be sued into oblivion.
Does Gab let Alex Jones on there?
I don't know, honestly.
But the point is, instead of taking Alex Jones off of Gab, they'll say, well, Alex Jones is on Gab, so then they'll just take Gab off of the internet.
Exactly.
Because they'll be sued.
Yes.
Or, to avoid getting sued, Gab will just take Alex Jones off.
Mm-hmm.
Because now they have no reason not to.
And so this mutation from let's take away Facebook's Section 230 protection to abolish Section 230, you'll notice it changes the concept so 180 that this is no innocent accident, right? This is purposeful. This is to hurt small competitors to big social media companies, because Republicans like tech censorship. Mainstream Republicans can only benefit from purging people further to the right than them. I just discussed it before. Libertarians can punish Republicans by making them lose. But if libertarians or other so-called far-right people are not allowed to network, then mainstream conservatives benefit, right? Mainstream Republicans benefit. Which means you might get it. You might actually see Section 230 repealed, and then a lot of conservatives, again, your family and friends, will be scratching their heads in bemusement as all of their accounts are censored again, and Parler is shut down. They're like, this isn't what we wanted. We wanted this. Like, oh, well, it's that dumb old government. Unintended consequences. Like, no, it's an intended effect. Black Rifle Coffee Company. This is like libertarian news a little bit. I haven't talked about Kyle Rittenhouse or the stuff that happened in Kenosha.
Can't do that.
I'm not going to talk about it. I just want to talk about it.
We have to do a separate.
Yeah. We're probably never going to talk about it. You guys can all, if you're listening to this podcast, all right? You know what the moral minority party line is, okay? I'm not going to say what it is, but we all know what it is. I just want to talk about Black Rifle Coffee Company.
Party line.
Yeah. So when Kyle Rittenhouse made bail, because the guy from MyPillow paid his bail, Kyle Rittenhouse he had to stay in Wisconsin. He couldn't go back to I think he's from Illinois, right? And his lawyer took a picture with him saying, like, oh, nothing to celebrate freedom like a good cup of the best coffee in America. And he was drinking Black Rifle Coffee Company. And a bunch of people on Twitter who would never drink Black Rifle coffee were tagging, like, hey, Black Rifle Coffee Company, do you support domestic terror? Kyle Rittenhouse says he drinks your Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer says that his client drinks your coffee. Do you support domestic terrorism? And not only did Black Rifle Coffee Company denounce Kyle Rittenhouse, not only did they make a statement on their website denouncing Kyle Rittenhouse, a dedicated page, they replied to every single person who added them on Twitter saying, not just we didn't donate or sponsor Kyle. Black Rifle Coffee Company has said that it does not engage in political activism. That's what I want to talk about. Black Rifle Coffee Company builds its entire public image on being veteran-owned, on being pro-Second Amendment. When Barack Obama said they wanted to hire a certain amount of refugees, they explicitly counter-signaled that and said they were going to hire a certain number of veterans. And now they want to tell you, when they denounce Kyle Rittenhouse, who may or may not deserve it, they want to tell you, instead of saying it directly, that they don't engage in politics. Oh, but they do. Not only does Black Rifle Coffee Company engage in the political activism I just described, they also... another thing they did, there's that time a Starbucks employee in Oklahoma allegedly wrote pig on a police officer's cup. And the Black Rifle Coffee Company donated money to that police department. They announced it on Fox News. The CEO of Black Rifle Coffee Company, Evan Hafer, is constantly on Fox News. He's on Hannity like every other fucking week. And his company goes off of that image of being conservative. But here's some other political activism that Evan Hafer, the CEO of Black Rifle Coffee Company, has engaged in. In 2008, this is on Open Secrets. In 2008, he donated $100 to John McCain. He was working for the Army then. In 2008, again, he donated in July 2008 another $100 to John McCain. In August 2008, $100 to John McCain.
Fucking insane.
Right, $100 to John McCain. And on August 30th, $100 to John McCain. On October 19th, 2008, he donated $500 to Obama for America. In 2018, at this time now, this is when now Black Rifle Coffee Company existed. In 2018, he donated $1,000 to McKeon for Nevada. Okay, David McKeon was a Republican. But
your narrative's collapsing.
Right? Oh, well, no, it gets dicier again.
Save your outrage.
On November 30th, 2019, he did something very based. He donated $500 to Tulsi Gabbard. In other words, the CEO of Black Rifle Coffee Company, who claims to be apolitical, has been donating to John McCain, Barack Obama, a washout local Republican, and admittedly a very based, but notably anti-gun Democrat. Tulsi Gabbard is not pro-gun. But he's not political. And he thinks it's very important that everybody knows that Black Rifle is not political. When he gets accused, when people who will never buy his product, ever, people who frankly look at his product like I do, as probably shit-tasting coffee with a stupid fucking gimmick. Right? Other coastal urbanite elitists like me, and he apologizes to them by lying to them and to his customers and saying that he's apolitical. But he is political. And that's all I have to say about Black Rifle Coffee Company. And I won't say anything about Kyle Rittenhouse. I just want to talk about that thing. If you think that Rittenhouse is a domestic terrorist white nationalist, say so. Say so. Black Rifle Coffee Company, I challenge you, just come out and tell your customer base that you think that Kyle Rittenhouse is a racist murderer. Tell your base, your customers, that
and
you
we know
think...
that the CEO listens to this podcast.
Right. Tell your customers that you think Kyle Rittenhouse is a racist mass murderer. Show me well, he wouldn't even be a mass murderer. He only shot 3 people. And only 2 of them died. So it's not a mass shooting. Right? Just tell your base this. Show me the courage of your convictions. First of all, Dan, do you have anything to say about that?
No.
Thank you, Dan. You know, Dan, this is your punishment though for like making me wait months between episodes. Is that when you sit down for it, you know, you speak at my leisure.
Well, the funny thing is when we do these episodes, as you know, I do intense preparation. Right? I'm pouring through files. You know, we've been emailing back and forth and then I come in and my view is let's just kind of go over a list of stuff and let's riff, right? But I forget sometimes the way your mind works that these things happen in the news. Now, what would happen to me is I would go, yeah. And you move on, and then when we sit down here, it's just like what's fresh on the docket. Let's go to what Rush Limbaugh used to call the stack. And we'll just go through it. We'll talk about things as they pop up. But you, like an elephant, never forget. So this thing happened 6 months ago that you needed to talk about. It's been too long. You don't bury it. You don't move on. You say, I'll save it. Save it. I'll save it. I'll save it. Microphone on. And the monologue goes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You have to get these things out.
Yes, I have to get off my chest. Another flash in the pan. We're going to skip this one. So some of these are things that we were going to talk about last episode, and we just didn't. And now I want to just mention that these are things we were going to talk about. So the next one is the Borat sequel came out. We're in the media section, obviously. The Borat sequel came out. I haven't watched it, but it's important thing, relevant, right? But one important thing about it, some of you with long memories, freaks like me, might remember that at CPAC last year, there was a controversy because a Klansman had walked through. Do you remember that, Dan?
I remember you talking about it.
I didn't remember talking about it. I remember it happening. I don't remember talking about it. Yeah. So there's a Klansman at CPAC last year. That was Sacha Baron Cohen, right? He didn't say so then.
It was a psyop.
Right. He walked through, and it's only now, like a year later, that we see that's a clip in Borat.
This gets to the UPN discussion we're having. Remember when he was just racist and sexist, and he would just tell jokes about being anti-Semitic?
Mm-hmm.
And when comedians, you could turn on a comedy movie TV, and it was supposed to make you laugh. It wasn't some fucking deep state psyop, fucking political shit show.
Yeah, although I just want to point out, it's not that I don't think I haven't seen
like
Borat.
When you watch Gallagher smashing a watermelon with a big hammer, there was no like thing where at the end of that it was like, vote for this party.
Hold on. Here's what's important here. It's not that Borat subsequent movie film was itself, when you watch it, propaganda, right? I mean, it is. Well, yeah, but it's not that what's more important here, I mean, that's par for the course. What's important is that, like, while he was filming the movie, he was framing people as racist. Or, in Rudy Giuliani's case, a rapist. Right? There's an article, I don't want to get into the whole thing because it'll just be me, I'll just be reading it basically, and I'll be ranting to Dan, this poor soul who's had to suffer through me for so long. There's an article on the American...
punishment. I'm like Tom, I almost said Tom Green, Tom Hanks in the Green Mile.
Listen, all you got to do is go on the American Conservative, and there is an article called Sacha Baron Cohen Propagandist. All right? And there's an article where you can read all about, and this he did in a few ways. He did that maneuver at CPAC. He did one to Rudy Giuliani. He also, he tricked this country music concert. Like, there's this country music concert, like, that was also doubled as a Trump rally, obviously. And he, like, through a proxy, sponsored the event, filled the security guards with his people, and hired fake actors to flood the crowd while he got on stage and started singing about, like, injecting COVID into Hillary Clinton. He is creating stories while he films his movies. He's creating these stories and saying that, oh, look, like, so that with the news media who doesn't know a Borat movie is being filmed, right? Because the thing is, at the same time this was happening, he was also creating an alibi. He was filming Who is America, remember?
Yeah.
So everybody kind of thought they knew what Sacha Baron Cohen was up to these days, right? You know, it's like, you know, hey, was that Borat? Like, no, because Borat's an old character, right? So he's doing, this Israeli colonel guy, and he's doing Ali G. I think he brought Ali.
The point is that the movie itself half of those things are fake. It's him dealing with
Right.
actors, and they're pretending that these are real Americans, and then the actors